So we were talking about explicit casting. Let's see how this could be done on int function. So int function for explicit casting. Yeah. Okay. Now what int function does? Now int function converts an integer literal to an integer object, float object, or a string to an integer. Yeah. So it converts integer literal or float literal or string literal to integer object. Yeah. So how do we do that? So suppose, let me add some code and show it to you. So if I have a equals to 10, this is how we wrote to have an implicit casting. But for explicit, I have to specify. I have to specify that this is an integer. Yeah. So if I run this and I say I'll add a code to it, I'll add more code. Yeah. So I can say a print a. Yeah. Or you can say type of a. It would be integer. Yes. Yeah. So if I see the type of int is this integer. Now, if the argument to int function is a float object or float, it returns an int object. For example, if I say a is equal to int, and if I try to add a float object into it, so I say 10.5. Yeah, you will find it has converted to int. So 10.5 is a float. Yes. So it has converted to int. So this converts float to int. Yeah. Let's try some other example like I have some multiplication, some complex function, which I'll say int, I'll say 2 into 3.14. Yeah. Now this uh, expression results in float. Okay. But will get converted to int. Yeah. But before doing this, let me first just run this expression. Let's see what it gives. It is supposed to give me a float answer. You see this 6.28. But if I run it through int, yeah, if I run it through int, and if I print a here, you'll find the answer is 6. Wherein if I would have directly written the expression here, I would have got a floating output. Yes. Same way, if I say a equal to true, yeah, and I'll say int of true, and I'll say print a, yeah. Let's see what it gives. It is supposed to give me 1. Yeah, for true it is 1. So if I try to put false, it will give me 0. Yes. So this is how you convert a float or a boolean or normal integer to an int. Yeah. So let's see some more example like how do you convert a string to an integer? Yeah. String to an integer in the sense this int function that we saw. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just make it a bit bold so that yeah, it is bold and we make it. Let's convert string to an integer. So we'll see some example on how string would be converted to an integer. Yeah, string to, let me put a text object here so that we can bifurcate it. So I'll say string to integer. Yeah. So let's see what we can do with string to integer. Okay, that's right. So string to integer. So suppose I have this 100 as my variable or my data. Now, since I have added it in double quotes, it will treat it as string. How we can know this? So if I say type of 100, which is in double quotes, it will give me str, which is a string. However, if you have removed this double quotes, it will give me it as integer. Yeah. Now suppose since I have this in double quotes, yes, it is a string. Yeah, I'll say a equals to 100. So I'm storing a 100 as a string. Yeah. Now what I have to do is I have to convert this 100 into an integer. Yeah. So what I will do is I'll say a or print a or integer of a. Yeah. Or I'll store it in b. And let's see what happens. Integer of a, and I'll say print b. Okay, I've missed the integer. So we'll find b is converted to 100. Let's find out type of b. So we'll understand whether it has got converted or not. See, it is a class int. So it has got converted to an integer. Yeah. From a string. Okay. Now, if in another example, so if I say a equals to, let's try this one, 10 plus 01. Yeah. What is supposed to do? Should we get 11 or 1001? Yeah. So it will give me 1001. So let me print this, print a, but it is in string format. So if I say type of a, type a, it will say string. Yeah, because both of them are in double quotes. Now if I try to do the same, but I put this in as int, yes, let's see what happens. What will be the type of a? It is integer. So it has got converted, and let me print a as well. So what it gives me the same output. Yeah, see 1001. Yeah, but it is in integer format. I can add something to it. Over here, in the above example, since it is in string, I cannot add anything. So if I try to add here a plus 10, it will give me an error. Print a plus 10. it is supposed to give me an error. Will do the same for the below example as well. See this? Since A is a string over here. Now, if I try to do the same here, it will add 10 to the output. You see this? Since we have converted it to an integer. So this is how you can use it. Yeah. And you need to be careful. Yeah. So the int function also returns integer from binary, octal, hexadecimal string. Now for this function needs a base parameter, which must be 2, 8 or 16. Yeah. The string should have valid binary, octal or hexadecimal representation. For an example, let's try to convert a binary. Let me, this is a string. Let's convert now a binary string. How would we do this? There's just an example. You do not need to worry because no one does all these things in real life. But you need to know. So that's why I'm doing it. So the string should be made up of 1 and 0 only. And the base should be 2. Yeah. So in this case, you need to be careful that in binary string, since it's a binary, you need to remember that it's a binary thing. The string should be made up of ones and zeros. Yeah. So suppose the example, it would go like is equal to A is equal to int of you, since it has to come of ones and zeros. So I'll say 1. Okay, I need to remove the brackets and put it properly. Yeah. So 1 1 0 0 1 1. Yeah. And I have to give the base of 2. Yeah. Let's see what is the actual format of. Yeah? Let's see. It is 51. So the binary format of this particular number 110011 is 51. So the decimal equivalent of this particular thing is 51. Same way, if I let's try to do an octal string to integer. Yeah. Let's as we had for binary, in octal you have to use 8 as the base. Yeah. So you copy the same formula. So the string should only contain, over here in octal, you need to be careful that the string should only contain 0 to 7, yeah, digits. And the base should be of 8, as I have told you earlier. So suppose I use the same formula, yeah, I change this to 20, yeah, and change the base to 8. So let's see what is the output, 16. So this again, the decimal equivalent of octal 20 is 16. Yeah. Now let's try to push it further by doing an hexadecimal. Yeah. Conversion to int. So in this particular thing, again, you can, the string should be only hexadecimal symbol. So it should, string should be only hexadecimal symbols. Yeah. And that is, for an example, it could be from 0 to 9 or A to F. Yeah. And the base should be 16. Yes. So this is for your information. You need to understand what is happening from octal string 2. So for an example, if I have A is equal to int of, it can have anything from 0 to 9, I said. So 2A 9. So it can have A to F as well. So I said 2A9 and I'll say hexadecimal 16. Let's print this. Print A. So the answer should be 681. Yeah. So this is like equivalent, the hexadecimal equivalent of 2A9 is 681. Yeah. So you need to be very careful while doing all these conversions. Yeah. Let's meet in a next video for to understand the float function. Right now we have understood the integer function. Yeah. Same way, we'll try to understand the float function. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.